Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new writing vlog. This is the first writing vlog that I'm filming since I signed with my literary agent. Oh my goodness. So if you guys have missed some of my recent uploads, I will link them down below for you to go check out, but I did recently sign with a literary agent, which I'm just so unbelievably excited for. And I just want to take a moment to thank all of you guys for your wonderful words and support. It literally means the world to me to know that some of you have been watching me for years and are just as happy and excited as I am about this news. It really means the world to me. But yeah, I'm so excited, and this vlog is going to be all about me diving back into my book What You Mean to Me to do edits from my agent's edit letter. Like, I have an edit letter from my literary agent. Wild. Like, what is happening right now? Like, I was supposed to be revising Mission Rom-Com right now. That's what my last actual writing vlog was about, and now everything has changed and here we are, and I'm gonna be revising What You Mean to Me instead, which is crazy. I'm so excited about it though. The last time I worked on this book was just under a year ago. Over a year ago? Under a year ago. I think I last worked on this book in October. Technically, I think I did do minor edits on it in November or December based off of a rejection that I got, but like actually properly working on this book before querying, I think, was October. It's been a hot minute since I've delved into this book, but I received my edit letter from my agent Nikki on Friday. It's currently Tuesday, September 2nd, and I took the long weekend to kind of read through it, take it over. I did a little bit of brainstorming on my phone this weekend, just kind of, you know, reading her notes and putting any ideas that I might have had into my phone. But now my first step is I want to reread the manuscript because it's been so long since I've read it in its entirety, beginning to end, that I really just want to like make sure I know everything going into it, make sure I'm refreshed on anything, see kind of what comes up to me as I reread. So that is item number 1 on the to-do list for revisions. Item number 2, which coincides with number 1, is as I'm rereading, I want to be creating like an outline for what the book currently looks like that I can work off of to add edits into it. We all know how much I love outlining and how detailed I like my outlines to be, so I'm definitely planning on doing an outlining system for this. So basically, I'm going to be writing down every single scene for every single chapter, and then if I like can think of something that I want to change or fix based off of Nikki's edits, then I can immediately write that in like a different color, or I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but add that in to the outline. Otherwise, I'm just gonna return to the outline once I've read through the entire book and do it that way. The edit letter isn't like too crazy. We have like she's lovely. She did this in like different sections, so she has like style, so like just stylistic things. She has plot things, miscellaneous suggestions. She has a whole specific part about the ending because we noticed some issues with the ending that we want to fix, and that's kind of where the bulk of things kind of are. So that's going to be the hardest fix. I don't know if it's going to be hard. It's just a matter of like figuring out what route I want to take with it and how I'm going to implement that all in, and like what I get to keep, and if things need to move around. I don't really know what that's going to look like. I'm thinking I would want to tackle that first. This is just what I'm thinking without actually diving into anything, but I'm thinking I would want to like tackle the end first and then start from the beginning and like make sure that everything else is like streamlined throughout. I'm thinking, I don't know, we're gonna see. Normally I do everything chronologically, but I don't know. It might be nice to kind of start with the ending, and then because parts of it are going to be like first draft writing and not matching necessarily with the rest of the book, I'm gonna want to make sure that I go over it a few times to make sure that it matches the rest of the book and the quality of the rest of the book. So I'm thinking it'd be best to do it first, go back to the beginning, do everything else that I need to do, and then hopefully by the time I get back to the end I can fix it up a little bit, and then, you know, keep working on it before I send it back to Nikki. I'm kind of like, I'm so overwhelmed, but like in the absolute best way. Like, I just cannot believe that this is happening right now. So I tentatively have a deadline of October 10th to get these edits done. Like I said, it's only September 2nd, so I've got some time, but that's just kind of the tentative deadline that we've set. I would like to actually get these edits done before then so I can like reread through everything and like just make sure everything is good, especially considering this is the first time I am sending her any like edited work that's not just like, you know, things based off of her notes, you know, like it's more nerve-wracking, I think. And I just hope that she thinks I do a good job. I'm anxious but also so excited. Yeah, and then it's potentially more edits and then submission. Wow, crazy. So I think today I just want to focus on starting the reread, seeing how far I can get into it. I am feeling a little bit tired because I worked this morning. It's currently 5:30. I worked this morning and I did not sleep super well, so I am feeling a little bit tired, and I am thinking I'm gonna want to wind down in the evening, maybe do some reading, maybe watch some TV. My hand is also hurting, so I'm thinking I don't want to be doing too much typing. I don't know what's going on here, but like something in here hurts, and I don't know if I heard it doing my journal the other day because I was doing my September bullet journal spreads, but it doesn't feel like how it normally feels when I hurt my hand doing that, so I don't really know what's happening. But I noticed it this morning primarily when I woke up, and I don't really know what's happening. But anyways, I'm gonna start reading this book before dinner and I'll update you guys as I go along. But wow, like I'm about to start revising my book following my agent's edit letter. This is crazy. It's 8:36 now. I got a little bit of work done up before dinner, and then I stopped for dinner and I went out because I had to get my sibling their birthday present because their birthday's this weekend. Now I'm back and I've been working at it a little bit more. I've made it through the first 3 chapters, and I think I've got my system down for this initial pass of this new outline, because basically there's a few things in my edit letter of like consistency for some things. Like we need to figure out a timeline for some things that happened in the past, just some things that like weren't clear, and even if all the details aren't in the book, like we need to know the details, which I totally get, and you know, I need to know these things. And so that's kind of the main thing that I'm focusing on as I'm going through. So any mention of like a timeline, like, oh, it's been a year since this happened, it's been, you know, this long since this. Anytime I mention something like that, I'm making a note of it. That way, if I change something, I can go back through and know exactly when I mentioned all these different timeline things. So that I'm putting in red. Any kind of like note to myself that pertains to a specific edit that my agent had, that still sounds so weird to say, I'm putting that in red. And then whenever I just get like a random idea that doesn't necessarily correlate to any of her edits, but it's just something that's occurring to me as I'm reading through, I've been putting that in purple. I've had 2 purple things so far and nothing huge, just very little ideas that I'm like, what if I added this? And I'm really excited about them. I'm also adding page numbers, trying to organize it. I am doing my like little summary of each chapter. I'm feeling really good about this outline so far, and like I said, we're only 3 chapters in, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So I want to keep working on this for as long as I kind of have the energy to, before I kind of sit down and wind down for the night. But I want to make sure I'm like steadily working on this. I really want to make that October 10th deadline, even though she said that we like, it's not a hard and fast deadline, but it's something that I would like to aspire to. And I'm also just really excited to be jumping back into this book again. You know, when you query something, you don't know if, you know, it's gonna go anywhere. You don't know if you're gonna get to the point where you get an agent and can work on the book again. And like, I'm just so excited to be working on this book. I love it so much, and I'm excited about these edits that Nikki has and the work that we're gonna do together, and I'm just really excited to be working on this book. And I was at work this morning, and my coworker saw me, and I haven't seen her in a while, and I haven't seen her since dropping the news. And she was like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. And she's like, I bet you're good. You have an agent. And it was just like this really cute, pure, sweet moment, and it just made me feel really happy and really like supported. Oh, I love my coworkers. I love my job. I love the people that I've surrounded myself with. I love all of you. I love all the friends I've made here. I'm feeling very grateful for all the people in my life right now, and I feel like crying, as if you guys have not seen me cry enough recently in videos, but here we are. It's a very emotional, happy time for me right now, which I'm just really grateful for. Anyways, I'm going to continue working on this. I also potentially will be commissioning some art for this book. It's a big commitment money-wise. The artist that I found is not from here, and so the conversion to Canadian money is pretty steep, but I really like this artist. My friend worked with them and I'm just like really excited about it. I've never commissioned art for one of my books before, and it's just something that makes it feel kind of real and really fun, and I want to hang it up on my wall and I want to post it everywhere. So I'm thinking about it. I think I'm gonna do it, but I think I want to finish my reread of the book first so that I can like really solidify the scene that I want. I think I know what scene I want, but I just kind of want to solidify the scene that I want, and I want to like try to get details from the scene. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. That is something that I'm thinking of. But oh my god, I have so much like pent-up energy right now. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work on this. Very excited. I don't know how far I'm hoping to make it in, but hopefully pretty far. It is September 4th. I've been hard at work rereading this book, and I'm hoping to finish it very soon. I'm currently over halfway through. I'm on chapter 30, which is page 167, and I've been taking my notes, doing the thing, and I'm feeling excited about it. I don't know, I'm really enjoying this reread since I've had so much time from it. It kind of feels like I'm not reading it for the first time because I've read it so many times, and in reality it hasn't been that long since I've read it, but there are some things that are newer to me in the most recent revision that I did that I'm really enjoying discovering again, and I'm really enjoying doing my like new outline on the side and like adding in notes and things I can improve upon, and I'm just feeling very excited about it, and I'm just feeling really connected to writing right now. It feels really good to know that I have an agent, I have somebody in the industry on my side rooting me on, and then also just all the love that's been pouring in from my agent announcement and my querying video has also just like made me feel so happy and excited, so thank you guys for that. And then also the podcast that I have going on with Peyton, by the way, link's always down below, has also made me feel just so connected to the writer side of me, which is like one of the biggest parts of myself, obviously. But we recorded a new episode today, and I just love talking about writing. I love talking about writing with Peyton specifically, and I'm just really excited about this podcast. So I just feel really good. I talked to my friend today all about publishing in this book because we went out today to celebrate me getting an agent. We went to this new romance bookstore, which was really cute, and we just had like a really nice time, and she was asking me all these questions. We went on this like nice scenic walk through downtown Vancouver, and it was just like so beautiful and so fun, and I appreciate her enthusiasm to like ask me about this book and the process of publishing. And even though she like doesn't understand, and like nobody in my real life understands anything about publishing or writing, it's just really nice to know that they like take an interest in it all. So I'm just feeling really good writing wise and really grateful and excited. But yeah, the note taking has been going well. I'm excited about it. I think I said my deadline was going to be September 8th. I'm still hoping for that to be the case, to finish. Did I say it was going to be to finish the reread or like finish prepping for revisions entirely? I honestly don't remember, so we're gonna see what happens. Tomorrow I work from 4:30 to 9:15, so I'm hoping that I can get some work done before I go to work, maybe even when I come home. It's currently 11:42, so I'm having a late working night tonight. I just finished up for the night, and then I don't work Saturday, but it is my sibling's birthday. I know we're going to dinner. I don't know if we're doing anything else during the day, if they want to like go do something to celebrate. I don't know, but I'm gonna try to also get some work done on Saturday and Sunday. I have no plans, so we are going to try. I do work Monday though, so do I work Monday? I do work Monday. I don't remember what time I work. It might be a morning shift, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna work really hard to get all this done. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm the most anxious for the ending of this book, which we are gearing up to at the moment. Like the the point where the problems start to arise that we want to address. It's coming in a good little chunk here, and I'm just nervous. I'm hoping that while I read, I get ideas for how to fix it. I've already brainstormed a little bit, but I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that is to come, and I believe in this book. I believe in the potential of what it could become after doing these edits, and I'm really excited but also nervous to do them and to send them to Nikki, and hopefully I do a good job and she loves them. This is kind of like our first little like thing that we're doing together, which is really exciting, and I don't know, I love this book and I'm really excited about it. So for once I'm feeling good about writing. When does that happen? Like never. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this little like setup that I have going on of my note taking, of like adding in notes. I think I'm gonna further color code it afterwards, especially when I'm adding in more notes as I go through. I'm trying to add in as many notes as I can think of as I'm going through it, but I'm sure I will come up with more as I go through it again, and like really have Nikki's notes on hand beside me because I don't have them currently open. I'm just kind of going off of my memory of what she said, so we're gonna see. But I'm feeling good, feeling excited. We will see how I feel when we get to the ending, which like I said we are gearing up to right here. I feel so excited to sit down and read through the book and figure out these edits, and that's a really good feeling to like crave wanting to work. And you know, like I was out all day, like I recorded the podcast with Peyton this like early afternoon, and I was out with my friend like the rest of the day. Like I literally got back at like 9:30 or something, and to like be excited after that like long day of doing stuff and like being social, which I don't enjoy being most of the time. It like takes a lot of my energy, obviously having social anxiety, but like to go through all that and to come home and immediately want to sit down and work feels really good, and I'm just really excited. So I'm gonna try to get some work done tomorrow before and potentially after work, try to get through as much of this as I can because I want to spend as much time as I can prepping for the revisions as opposed to just reading through the book, if you know what I mean. Like I want to get to the end of this book. It's obviously taking longer than it would normally because of the extensive note taking that I'm doing on the side to like summarize each chapter and write down the edit notes that I can think of and ideas that come to mind. So we're gonna see how long it takes me, but I'm hoping to get through a good chunk of it tomorrow before and after work. I have been hard at work for the past maybe hour and a half working on reading through Tim. I am currently now on page 239, so I have less than 100 pages left to go, which is super exciting. We are definitely gearing up now to that 80% mark of the ending where changes are going to need to be made. So I'm gonna need to try to focus on this last bit and try to brainstorm some things as I'm reading and figure things out. I'm hoping that inspiration will strike and everything will just click into place and I'll have one of those magical writer moments. So fingers crossed that happens. But I have to leave for work in a half hour, so I need to finish getting ready. So I thought I would just jump in here and give you guys an update. I am hoping to return to this when I get home tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the read through or if I'm gonna have to finish it up tomorrow, but regardless I want to try to get as far into it as I can today. But yeah, like I said, I'm on page 239. I did some good work today, got through a lot of chapters, made a lot of little notes and mentions of things, and I'm still feeling good about it. But like I said, I am nervous about this ending and getting the ideas for it and getting it right. So we're gonna see how that goes, but I'm gonna be honest, I do not want to go to work today. All I want to do is just sit here and work on this. I feel so inspired to work on it and so excited to work on it, and I already know that the entire time that I'm at work today, this is all I'm gonna be able to think about is coming home and getting more work done. So the plan is to go to work, come home. I'll probably get home at around 9:30ish, have some dinner, and then I'll probably be able to sit down and do some writing shortly after 10. And then I'm thinking I will maybe try to work for an hour and a half before I let myself wind down for the rest of the night, reading probably. So we're gonna see how this goes. But then I have the weekend off to hopefully get some more work done though. Although I did just realize that I wanted to film a video and edit a video to go up for Monday. So I'm gonna have to try to find time to do that this weekend as well. So might be a little bit busier this weekend than I was originally anticipating. But last night, after ending the vlog and reading for a little bit, I kind of started to think about my timeline and like trying to break it down to give myself like little mini deadlines that kind of, you know, up until the actual deadline. So the current plan is this. This is going to be after I finish the reread and all of that. So I want to go through and revise the ending first and implement all of the changes to the ending, and I think I want that to be done by around September 22nd. So that's giving myself about 2 weeks to work on just the ending. I wanted to give myself the most time to work on the ending since it is the most time consuming, the most complicated, the hardest edits. So I'm giving myself about 2 weeks to do those. Then I want to go back to the beginning of the manuscript and implement the smaller or easier changes that we're doing, so hopefully that'll be okay. And then I'll be able to edit and clean up the newly revised ending and try to bring it to the same caliber as the rest of the book. And my deadline for both of those is the 29th, so about a week or so. So we're gonna see how that goes. And then I want to use find and replace to change the usage of Christopher versus Chris to be more intentional. That was one of Nikki's notes, is that it's kind of random when I decide to use Christopher and when I decide to use Chris. So we kind of want to put a little bit more intention into the usage of his name and his nickname. So I want to go through and just find everywhere where I say Chris and Christopher and make it more intentional. I already have an idea of how I want to fix that, so that's something that I can do in a day. So that one is September 30th. And then I want to read through the book again from the beginning and make any final edits to the book before sending it to my agent Nikki. My deadline for that is anywhere between October 4th to October 10th, so a few days to a week, and it's my goal to try to finish it before the deadline, so that I can like just make sure that I feel really confident in it before I send it off to Nikki. So that is kind of my current timeline, my deadline broken down into smaller deadlines. I'm really nervous, but I'm really excited. So we are going to see. We are going to see how this goes. I'm very excited, very nervous, but I do need to finish getting ready for work now. So I will hopefully chat to you guys later tonight when I get back from work. Okay, it is now 11:30. I just want to make a quick update. I'm so tired, I don't want to go to bed, but I got home from work, I had dinner, and I think I started writing maybe at like 10:45-ish, I don't know, and I'm now on page 264. I wanted to get more work done, but unfortunately I'm just so tired, and I am in obviously like a really critical part of the book, the part that needs the most work, and I don't want to be trying to figure that out in this kind of state that I'm in, because I was trying to figure out a scene and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I think I just need to come back to it with a more awake brain, you know. And plus I feel like I've worked hard today, you know. I worked on this before I left for work, and then I worked, you know. I need to not work for a little bit. I need to rest and relax, so that's what I'm gonna do. But hopefully I'll have time to do this tomorrow. I don't know if we're doing anything for my sibling's birthday outside of just going to dinner, so I might be able to work on this during the day. I guess we will see. It is September 6th. And I have been hard at work today in my free time between doing things for my sibling's birthday, working on this book and working on the reread and doing all of that. So I did manage to finish the reread today before we went out for dinner, which was very exciting. And then I kind of just sat there with the daunting task in front of me of how do I fix the ending, and I started to feel very overwhelmed. So basically I was working in the document that I had where I was taking notes and summarizing each chapter, and I was like, I don't really know how to go about fully fixing the ending, because the ending felt too substantial of a thing to try and fix in this document. So then I decided to just, you know, start on a fresh page at the bottom of the document, just to do some like brainstorming for the ending. So I started to do that, and then I kind of came up with an idea. I was kind of spiraling for a minute. I was like texting Peyton, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, like I don't know if I can do this, and just kind of freaking out. But then I came up with the kind of idea, and I was like, wait, I think I cracked it. Ignore me. And I swapped over to a new document, and I wrote in even more like basic terms what each like chapter was. And I did it in kind of like a bullet point list, and then I kind of in red decided to write down like changes that I could make to those chapters, and I started like crossing things out from the chapters that no longer applied, and I added a chapter or two. I think I added maybe 3 chapters. Decided to insert a chapter in between these like 2 Christopher POVs that were back to back before. I decided to insert one of Maisie's chapters in between it instead. It's not fully figured out, but it's a start, and I kind of want to keep tinkering with it tonight, and then maybe look back on it tomorrow, just kind of sleep on it, and then maybe I'll ask my agent if she wants to look at it, or if she should just trust me and let me do it. Like I don't really know what the protocol is for working with an agent, and like how much I should do on my own and how much I should involve her. It's a different world that I am navigating right now, because obviously I'm so used to doing things on my own and kind of just like asking friends for opinions every now and then, but like pretty much doing everything on my own. Writing tends to be a very solitary act. So now I have like this person in my corner, and I'm like, I don't know how much I should go to her for things. But yeah, so the document that has all of the chapter summarizations and all my little notes that I took while reading, that is over 8,000 words. Including the little end brainstorming that I was doing. 8,000 words. And then the end kind of like outlining that I was doing is sitting at almost 1,100 words. So like I said, I'm gonna tinker with it a little bit more, maybe do some brainstorming for the rest of the book, have Nikki's notes open that I can refer to see if I missed anything that I need to kind of fix. Maybe start doing some of the like timeline kind of like brainstorming that I need to figure out, because that will help me a lot, because a lot of my notes are just like timeline mentions of, oh, you said a year ago, make sure that it's still going to be a year ago, or like, you know, they met at this age, make sure that that is still accurate, those kinds of notes. So I need to go through and figure those timeline things so that I can properly put into this like outline what I want to do. I also might like change color codings of things. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just gonna kind of tinker with it for a little bit. It is almost 9:30. I need to wash my hair tonight, and I don't really want to be working all night, but we're gonna see. I don't work tomorrow either, and the only other thing that I have on my agenda besides like working on this and reading is to finish my bullet journal setup. It's over there, so I can't show you, but I've done the entire setup. I just haven't put titles on anything yet because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and my hand was really hurting when I was working on it, so I just kind of was like, okay, it's usable, I don't need the titles on there for right now, but I definitely need to go back and add the titles before I just don't do it and then it's just blank forever. So I need to figure out what the titles are going to be, and I'd like to do that tomorrow. But besides that, the day is open for me to work on the book. I think I mentioned earlier in the vlog that I was going to like film a video. It was going to be my fall TBR, and then I realized I don't have any decorations up and I am in no way prepared to decorate, so that's gonna have to wait. So I'm just not doing a video this week, and that's just gonna be the way that it is. But I'm gonna tinker with this a little bit more. I just wanted to update that I finished the reread, took all the notes, did the end brainstorming. So I think I'm gonna go through the like summarizing and note-taking document, tinker with that, have Nikki's notes pulled up, let myself have like a little bit of a break from looking at the ending outlining that I just did, and then we're gonna see where to go from there. But I do think potentially by September 8th, so Monday, I do think I will be able to like start actually revising, which is really exciting. And like I said, I want to start with the end first. Like I don't even know if what I'm adding in here is enough. Like I don't know. And revisions are so tough, especially like I feel like this far into the process where I'm like, am I just making things different? Am I making them better? Are these solutions that I've come up with good? Is it improving upon the issues that like me and Nikki have? Like I don't know. Sometimes revisions are tricky like that, where it truly is like, is it different or is it better? and sometimes it's hard to distinguish. So maybe we'll see like once I'm actually working on it what it'll be. I'm also a little nervous about word count. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna be within like word count restraints. Okay, yeah, 50 to 90,000 words. I'm currently at 80,000 in the previous draft, so I've got some words to work with. I don't think it's gonna be much more than 85,000 words, if that, because I'm sure I'll be deleting some things and moving some things around. I don't know. I'm scared, I'm nervous, I feel very overwhelmed, and now I'm just procrastinating getting back into it. So I'm gonna put my music back on and work on this. I was listening to my What You Mean to Me playlist, but then in previous years when I've been listening to it, and all the songs end up on my Spotify Wrapped, and I was looking at like my Spotify stats, and currently all of the like Starstruck soundtrack songs are like my top songs as of recently, and it would not surprise me if they end up on my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year. So instead I'm listening to Michael Clifford's album Side Quest. I'm taking a bit of a break from the Wim Tim playlist, even though I love it dearly. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna get back to work. I need to charge my camera. We're gonna have a good and productive work session, okay? Manifesting, it's gonna be good. Okay, I know it looks like I haven't moved since the last clip, and that's because I haven't. It's now 11:30 and I literally have not moved from this spot since the last clip. I have been sat here working through everything, and I even had to pull out my old Wim Tim notebook, which was so fun to bring out again. I haven't had to use this notebook in a very long time, so it feels kind of nostalgic to be using it. There's a lot of notes in here from drafts past, and it's just wild. But I had to pull this out. I pulled out all of my like loose leaf notes as well, because I had things in there about timelines and I wanted to figure out the timeline. So let me break down everything that I've done, because I still need to go take a shower. It's gonna be a late night. But I did some research on some things. I did research on applying to colleges in Canada and figuring out timelines of things, because a big motivation for Maisie is not going to college. She does not want to go to college. She's freshly graduated from high school, and her parents really want her to go to college and do, you know, the traditional education route, but she just wants to get straight to work because she knows what she wants to do, and she has the internship at the magazine. So kind of needed to figure out things about colleges and timelines of that. So I was just doing some research. I think I came up with something that works. I think I'm just gonna put it in and then see if it makes sense to Nikki when she goes to read it. Obviously, applying to colleges is different in Canada versus America. So I did research. I think it makes sense. If not, I can always try to adjust it again. But I think I came to a conclusion with that. And then I also did some music industry research for things that happen later in the book that I'm not gonna mention, but some things. I did some research, and I think I have a plan regarding that as well. So that was great. A little bit of research moments. It was fun. And then I also figured out a timeline. So I had to dig through my old notes, see what I already had written, and then try to adjust it. So I did like a full page of like planning of like what ages they were when they did things in the band, and when, you know, Chris went solo, and doing all of these things. And I think I have a good timeline. They were pretty young when they kind of were up and coming in the band and going on their own tour and stuff, but I'm trying to think of like, you know, One Direction went out when they were really young and they were, you know, living on their own and things like that. So I think it makes sense. And I also think it makes sense why Chris was then manipulated kind of to go solo and leave his band, because he was so young and naive. And then by the time we get to the current timeline of the book, it's like the only thing that he's known for the last few years, and so he doesn't know any better, doesn't know any different. So I think it works. We're gonna see how it works in actuality as I'm writing, but I think it works. So I have all of the timeline questions answered that Nikki had in the edit letter for me, so hopefully this works. I then went through the outline and notes that I had, and I went through and put little notes to adjust the timelines. So when I was reading through the book, I had notes mentioning a timeline was mentioned here about how they broke up a year ago, and so I went through and made an additional note saying change to, you know, 2 years, because I've now changed it to them being broken up for 2 years. So things like that, I went through and adjusted all the different timeline things. And then I also went through, if timeline was correct, I just put like a check mark and was like, this is good, go with it. And then also in my other color, because I've got that in red, in purple I have like actual like plot suggestions and revisions in that sense. And if I liked the idea that I had, I put it in bold. If I put a question and I now have the answer for it, I put that in a separate little note and put that in bold. Is it interesting for me to tell you guys these specifics of like formatting and things that I'm doing? I don't know, but I basically answered some questions that I had put in the outline. There are some things that I still don't fully know, and I'm getting tired, so I didn't want to spend too much time trying to figure out things I didn't already know as I was going through this, so I just highlighted those in yellow so I knew that I had stuff to come back to. And then obviously like I still need to like redo this to include the new outline that I made, because that's still in a separate document. So we still have some work to do, but I'm confident that I can get this done tomorrow, which is crazy. And then we can get started on revisions. I'm very excited. Like I've been like locked in. Like in recent months when I try to write, I like find myself like scrolling through Twitter a lot or finding excuses to go on YouTube. And I haven't done that at all in the last couple of hours that I've been working on this. I've just been listening to music and locking in, and I'm just so excited to be working on this book again. I just truly love it so much, and I'm just really excited to kind of see where it goes, see what's gonna happen. That's my work for the night. I'm gonna go take a shower and then just kind of chill until it's time to go to bed. The next day is September 7th, and I've gone through the outline again, and I've gone through the ending again of what I did yesterday, and I looked back at Nikki's notes, and I think that I have addressed everything that I'm taking from the notes anyway, which to be fair is most of it. I think there's like 1 or 2 things that I'm not doing, but again, stylistic choices, and I'm happy with it. I think, I don't know, I need to make this like properly organized. It is such a mess right now, so I need to make sure that like it's more organized so that I know exactly what I'm doing and what's happening. But like I think it's done. I think it's ready to go. After dinner, because it's 6:30 right now, we're gonna be having dinner any minute now, but I think after dinner I want to just like go over it again and make sure there's nothing missing, make sure there's no researchy things that I want to do before calling it done and getting ready to actually revise. I might shoot Nikki a message and be like, do you want me to just go ahead and start the edits, or like do you want to see stuff? Like, do you want a summary of things that I'm adding? I don't know how to work with an agent. It's very scary. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, I am ready to go into actually revising this book, which is insane. Like this is most likely going to be the last round of developmental edits I do on this book before we go out on submission. Like pretty soon, like in a month, probably a month and a half, editors are going to be looking at my book. Like it's crazy, because like for the last 4 years my entire brain has been focused on agents and querying agents and just getting my foot in the door, and now it's like a total like shift of like mindset of like, oh, like my foot is in the door, I have an agent, and it's a huge step, but now the next step is like the step. Like the next step that we take could be what leads to me having a book published and on the shelves, which is really exciting. And it's really I'm gonna cry. I'm really grateful, because all of a sudden I've been able to dream about being a writer again, and dream about like what my book's gonna look like, and dream about it being on shelves. And I haven't let myself do that in so long, because querying was so hard that I felt like it was never gonna happen. And like now in the like last month I've been able to like really dream about it and get excited again, which is just so nice. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, I'm gonna go. I work early tomorrow and I'm not looking forward to it, but yeah, I'm just gonna do like a quick pass over this tonight, I think, and then start revising tomorrow, I guess, when I get home from work. Wild. The next day, it is September 8th. I just got back home from work a little while ago, and oh my goodness, I don't know what happened when I was at work, but I somehow got hit by like the biggest brainwave for this book. That might be being a little dramatic, but I feel like I had this idea when I was brainstorming the revisions, something that I thought of while I was doing the reread close to the beginning of the book, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to find a way to make it work because it kind of caused some ripple effects. And so when I was like going over everything yesterday, I sent Peyton a message and I was like, hey, like, do you think this could work? And she responded to me today. And then all of a sudden, like, I just couldn't stop like snowballing. I was like, okay, but like, then what if I do this? But then that creates this issue. But then I'm like, okay, but what if I did this? And then it kind of just like all clicked. And I had like a quiet moment to myself while I was working. I was processing some orders. And so I was just like by myself in the back room. And my mind was just going crazy thinking about like all of the things that I could do with this, and it addresses a note that Nikki gave me, which was not my like initial plan, with this little like seed of an idea that I had. And I'm actually changing it to the original seed of an idea that I had, and I realized none of this makes sense if I don't like explain what I'm talking about, but I don't want to give spoilers. And I think it works. I don't know. I'm about to sit down and brainstorm it, and I was actually thinking that like I needed to end this vlog because I wanted to, you know, just have this vlog be like the pre-revision stuff and then have a vlog when I'm actually revising. So I was gonna end this vlog when I got home, but then I was like, no, like I need to document this because this is such a big brainwave, and I kind of want to get all my ideas out there. I kind of want to go through the outline again and put everything down, and then I'll start working on the actual book. But I just, oh my god, like I'm just so excited to be working on this book and to be back in this world, and I'm just really excited. And I think that this book is just gonna get so much better and so much stronger. But yeah, like I wasn't even expecting for like this initial seed of an idea of like, oh, maybe I can do this, to end up leading to actually helping with one of the notes that Nikki gave me. Like truly the only purpose it had was I was reading and I was like, this could be kind of interesting, so I just jotted it down. But it didn't like specifically like solve anything. It was just like I just wanted to do it. But now like with the way that I was thinking about it, I think it's gonna address one of her notes, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm gonna get to brainstorming on that now that I'm home and ready to work. So this is exciting, but I will be ending this vlog once I've kind of got this figured out. Okay, so I just finished brainstorming the ending. I've like formatted it. I started to get a little confused with the way that I was doing everything. Like I have the ending fully figured out in a separate document to the rest of my like outline, and I think it's because so much is changing, and not, I mean, I guess a lot's changing, but a lot's also staying the same. Like I'm not necessarily deleting any scenes. I'm changing some circumstances of some scenes, a setting of a scene. Like there's big changes happening, and it was just too much for me to do in the original outline that I was doing. So I have just the ending in a separate little document that I'm going to be working off of. I've transferred all of like the little edit notes, like timeline mentions and stuff like that, into this new outline, and we're just gonna go from here, and then I'll just return I guess to the other outline. I don't know, but I think I'm ready to start, which is crazy, but that means that we are at the end of this vlog. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below and let me know what you've been working on writing wise recently. I would love to know. Subscribe if you've not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!